Real good. Those fries were hot. Had to dump them, cool them down. Busy place around here. Dickerson Market. They have repaved this since I've been up here last, I think. I know they definitely repaved it. Except for this part. Coming back down into the towpath. And there's the trailhead for the Monocacy Aqueduct. Milepost 42. And I'm back. Take the low side this time. Okay, now I'm back on the towpath after the Monocacy Aqueduct, after going up to Dickerson Market. So it's about 42 and a half nearly mile marker. So about 13 miles back to Brunswick, where I'll stop and charge up for a bit. And if you were looking for a campsite near Monocacy Aqueduct, you got this one here. It's the Indian Flats biker campsite. You see here, this is the 43 area, and it's been pretty much like this since I left the campsite at 38. It rained a lot last night, and I'm sure here too, but it doesn't look like it because of this resurfacing. It's got a good layer, base layer, sub layers, and it drains very well. It's a big tree. Sycamore tree. Rolling along, as damp as it is out, you can smell the, I'm calling it like a wood mold mildew smell in the canal. It's like the same smell I smelled in the tent. So it may or may not have been actually in the tent, but coming from the low areas off of the edge of the campsite. But I'll go ahead and clean the tent up real good, soak it in bucket, and then let it dry. Dawn dish liquid, a little bit of Clorox. I think they say don't use Clorox, but if there's any mold in there, I want to kill it. Kind of get an idea of what trees come down sometimes after storms or in storms. That would pose a little situation to get past. But thanks to all the volunteers and workers to clear that stuff out of the way. That's been down for a little while. When you get this far, Calico Rocks, you know you're not far from Point of Rocks. Okay, Point of Rocks exit here. It's a sharp turn, so be careful if you're going through here. Go over here and get some water. Refill. Actually, I was down to assist 3. Inclines I need to do 4 or 5. Okay. Water's down this way. Bathroom is there. Pavilion. And I'm always, well, trying to watch for traffic. Water fountain is over there. Right there. Let's roll ahead. Train station is down there further. There's nothing of interest really. No outlets, nothing down there. And it's very dangerous to go through that parking lot because they park both sides and it's closed. They can't see you backing up because it's pull-in parking. Now, why would they put that right in the way? Okay. Okay. It's wet. Not exactly cool, but it's wet. Just what you need when you're out of water. Water is refilled. It's a liter, a little bit in there, and I have some in here. So, about 3 liters, way more than what I need. Don't have anything on it here. Still, everything good there. Snap down. Still looks good. So we can roll again. Turn the light off. Don't need it yet. Okay. Start out in 3. Drop it down to 2 when I get down on the towpath. Just a little over half, about 60%. Of course, the top half is a higher voltage than the lower half. So really, when you get down to 50%, you actually have less than half by voltage. Because it goes to 54.6 on a full charge. So let's walk down here, take a look at this again. Point of rock floods. Action stage, flood stage, moderate, major. I've seen all 4. I've seen it when it's 25 feet. I haven't seen much deeper down here. Williamsport, I've seen it up when I think it was about 40. That was a lot. (1936) and 42, 1889. 1972, 96, 85. 85 is what I was thinking about. It was 36. In 1996, 1937, 1924, and 1955. The major flood depths in years. Okay. The path just circles around, goes out. Parked right in the way, sticking over. Careful. And same thing there. You ought to have posts up here. Okay, we'll go out this way. Watching for traffic coming in. There's a curb drop there. Be careful. I'm talking to myself. Always watch traffic coming in. Okay. I'm glad this is here. Like everybody, I'm sure, is appreciative. Let's get back on the towpath. As a vehicle driver, we don't always think about what sticks out onto the walk path, riding path. That's why they should create the infrastructure, the posts, so they don't back up further. Okay, that's where we go back to the towpath there. Circle down here real quick. Pavilion. There's a little food mart over there. Pit toilet. And circle back to the towpath now. Big Bellies, I think it says. The name of that mart. Little food place. Okay, looking ahead, nothing coming in. And I'll circle down to the right into the parking lot. Okay, dropping back into 2. I was in 4 just to navigate through that parking lot, just in case I needed the extra power to get me out of situations. I'm generally always looking ahead, trying to look ahead to see if there's anybody coming, even bicyclists, like when I entered the towpath here. That's a CSX train. It's entering the Point of Rocks tunnel. It's hidden from the foliage. Can't see it. Potomac's over there. Heading west. We've got Lander in about 2 miles. And then Brunswick after that in about 5 or 6 miles. That's a good example of the upper half of the battery being a higher voltage than the lower half. I've been at about 60% on that 6 bars, having 6 bars for quite a while. I think since Monocacy, 42. And I just passed 48, 6 miles, which is unusual because each bar is about, just varies, depends on what assist level I'm in. But I'm in 2 right now. Good day. We're looking for volunteers to work on this lock house. Volunteers wanted. A lot of people out walking. Just casually rolling along. 8, 9, 7 miles an hour. Coasting. Pedaling a little bit. I guess my legs feel fresh still. I kind of like these shorter trips, 2, 3, 4 days. Then I go home, regroup, shower, cleaned up. So I was thinking back when I was climbing, pedaling up the hills to Dickerson Market. Of course, I have the e-bike, so it uses electricity to go up, uses watts, and I figure it cleaned off about 3 bars off my battery, the lower battery, lower half. So I'm estimating it probably used about 150 watts. 100 going up maybe and 50 coming back, so 150 watts. And my charger for the e-bike battery, it charges at about 3 amps, but it charges around 170 watts, or up to 3 amps. So 3 amps would be like 360 watts, but the actual input into the battery itself is about 170 watts. So in other words, it would take about 3/4 of an hour to recoup the watts that I used going up to Dickerson Market. It's about 3/4 of an hour charge to go about 30%. Of course, the way the charging works, it's a trickle charge. It charges a lot up to about 80-85%, and then it starts to trickle down based on the voltage, and it tries to charge up to like 54.6 volts. It's a 48 volt battery, but it charges over. The batteries are designed to accept a little bit higher charge, so that's why you might see some people wanting to go to a 52 volt system where you can get about 58 or 60 volts into a battery, because the top half of a battery has a lot more output than a lower half. You can barely see it, CSX. And this is what you would hear if you camped over here. Just across the towpath. Okay, so I just passed the Lander Lock House that you saw. I just passed the mile 51 marker. That wasn't far from it. So now we'll have the Catoctin Aqueduct Creek Aqueduct up here. It's best to dismount right here and then walk across. Oh boy. Woohoo. Hold your breath. Recycled fried chicken. Don't breathe it. Whew, man. That's rank. Someone left the top open. Okay, this is Brunswick, mile 55 almost, and I'm going to go up here and charge up a jackery, and while that's charging for up to about an hour or so, I'll top charge 2 of the e-bike batteries, just so I'm not wasting any time. The coast is clear. And this is Brunswick, the lower historic town, downtown. And the train station is my objective. There's receptacles on the other side, and hopefully they're on tonight. They were on a couple months ago. And you'll have to access it from here. Okay, cross your fingers and hope it's on. Okay, let's get the cord out. Okay, power is on. I checked the GFCI before I plugged it up, and it showed working. There we go. 4%. So I lost 3% in about a few hours. I don't know, was it still on? That's weird, because it was 7% this morning, or last night. Okay, well, let's get the batteries hooked up. Okay, so it's 3:30, and I'm now hooked up, juicing up for the electric at Brunswick, milepost 55. Drying a few things out still from last night. The chair, I didn't have really a chance to let it air dry, so it's drying now. So we've got a snack or two out while this charges. I'll let it go for an hour, is what it's going to take for the jackery. So about 4:30. Then I'll go back on the towpath. It's 80 degrees, 75% humidity in the electronics trailer, and 94% humidity in the front trailer. Okay. So I've got the one battery I was starting to charge up yesterday. So that's probably 2/3 charged. The other battery is the one I just took out today. It's depleted, probably 10% left, 15%. And the jackery is charging. Let's see if I can focus in and see what it's charging at. Almost 1,000 watts. So an hour and a third to be fully charged. Hour and 20 minutes. So this is the surround. They have a bike pump, bike station. If you haven't seen, this is the old train station here. They renovated it, put those plugs in. Man, that's awesome, because the next one from here would be about 40 miles away, down at the visitor center, 14 milepost. Sunday afternoon, pretty dead here. And this is the town. This is what you see when you pull in. Brunswick. The bike shop. Is over here on your left. There goes River and Trail again. Pick some more people up. So let me settle in here for an hour and relax. The only downside about an e-bike, you have to stop the charge. But the jackery that's in there, 1,000 watts in about an hour and a quarter. So that's 1,000 watts. That's like almost 2 batteries, 500 times 2, which would take 3 hours if I double charge, which I'm doing now. So I'll make use of that hour and charge the other 2 batteries. Rest of my chips from yesterday's lunch, still fresh and crisp. It's pretty cool. Brunswick, a baseball town. I really enjoy these gummy candies. I'll have to get some more. I picked them up at Martin's, about $5 for a bag. Divided them into 2 quart size baggies, Ziploc, so they keep the moisture out and ants. But very good. My extra spare power bank is inside the handlebar bag that's completely waterproof, 100%. It's an Orlib, so the cord's linked up here, charging up my phone as well. Okay, all charged up and leaving. Back on the towpath. This is milepost 55 almost, Brunswick. Excellent, excellent stop. All recharged up, ready to go. Only took an hour and a half. My jackery was practically empty and a couple of batteries were pretty low. So now I can charge on the go still with the jackery because it's got 3 inverter hookups. 1,000 watts. Okay, so Shepherdstown is the destination and then my home. So I've got about 3 hours yet to ride. Just past mile 58. Back there on the right, I didn't show you, but over there, it's the bottom of Keep Trist Road off of Route 34 once you cross the 340 bridge into Maryland, and then go down the hill. Either the first or the second exit for the Keep Trist Road. That'll put you there. There's a small parking area. So mile 58, and I need to go to 73, up the switchback, and then home. Shepherdstown area is what I'm gearing for after Harper's Ferry. So 3 miles to Harper's Ferry, and then 12.5 miles to Shepherdstown yet, and then 13 miles to my home. I have plenty of battery juice, so everything's good, and the reserve in the Jackery is full. Well, it's charging one of the batteries now, finishing off, topping off the battery. But yeah, I've got more than enough. Still spitting some rain. Hadn't rained for a couple hours. Now it's starting to sprinkle. So hopefully nothing heavy. And if I do, I'll get the poncho out if it's too bad. I mean, it's warm out, so no issue. Okay, had to get the poncho out. Didn't have to, I guess. Could have got wet. Mile 61, 12 miles to the switchback at Shepherdstown. Do watch those edges, don't fall off. If you're pulling the trailer, remember that. That goes up and over to the Maryland Heights Trail, in case you didn't know. And there's a ramp up here if you don't want to use steps. But then you got to walk the road. Block 34. I'll just sit and rest there, or there, and there's the deer. And that's a drop off over there, not a parking. Watch the edges. 5-ton limit. 10,000 pounds. I think I'm under. They crossed that to go down here to the campsite to pump out the porta potty. That's why it's noted that way. Just need to get through, guys. Sorry, I didn't mean to split you up there. You're okay. Let me go by. There we go. Thank you, guys. $65. 8 miles to go. Just went to 3 bars. And I'm almost to 67. Went to 3 bars half a mile ago. About 67. Correction, it was about 66 and a half when I went to 3 bars. That's 1664 roughly. I've got to bump it up into 4 or 5. Slight incline here. This helps take the pressure off. I'm going to go right back to 3. Lock 67, 37. Mile 67 is just up here. Okay, back into 3. And 67. About 2 miles will be the Aqueduct, 2.5 miles. Starting to feel the loss of voltage on the motor. Just a little bit less. It's about 67.25. Just past 69, that means the Aqueduct is just up ahead about a half a mile. Last bar, 2 bars, about a mile left on the second bar. I'll change the thing over. So about 3.5 miles to the switchback. 3.25 miles. I'm going to take the high side. Wait for them to cross their boat. What floats your boat? That's why that's all eroded. Let's see, 5 guys on one, 2 girls on the other. It's not quite fair, is it? Antietam Creek Campground. Between 69.5 and 70. Camp Post. Shadier spot at this end, the very end. On the west side of the pit toilet. Walk in from there. That's 19. And site 20. So 20 is the last site. Okay, this is the parking lot up here. If I have driven in, I would have stopped here and loaded up on my truck, but I didn't. I rode from my home, biked over, so keep on going. And then the switchback is just up here, another half a mile or less. There's the river lock again. Lock 38. And that's the small parking lot, and that's the bridge that I've got to go up on top of. Now, if you look back at my other video, you'll see the switchback coming down. I'm not going to video going up. But if you kept going straight, you get to Williamsport. But here, I'm going to Shepherdstown, across the river. Halfway, or a little further. One more stretch and one turn, and then we're on top. Okay, go up here and stop for a second before I go over.